Hello and welcome to Wildlife Cam. I have a theory as to why Carl is so obsessed with the waterhole camera, because it's inside a protective metal tube which might look like a good home for a starling. They nest in holes and in gutters and pipes, so he probably thinks the camera is taking up his potential home. There's a slender mongoose in the bottom left. He's about to go over and check out the impala. The lizards are becoming more and more active, but I haven't seen any snakes yet. First visit to the pond camera for a while for Carl, but he gave up on it pretty quickly and went back down to attacking the waterhole camera. Now this is a Steenbok, and this is quite an unusual sighting. Not to actually see a Steenbok, they're pretty common around here, but to see one drinking from a waterhole, because they are water independent. They don't need to drink at all. All their moisture they can get from the vegetation that they eat, so they can live in arid, not quite deserts, but very arid areas without ever drinking. And so very unusual to see one like this. Now I figured it would try and make me look stupid by then coming back on a regular basis, which is exactly what it did, but it's very well documented that they don't need to drink, so I don't know if this one is ill or maybe it just developed a taste for algae and fish flavored water. The civets have started drinking on the far side of the waterhole now, so maybe they don't want me to identify them. They must be up to something. And I think the genets are also up to something, because they're now only drinking from the very edge of the bird bath, so I can't identify them either. The elephants did a bunch of bush clearing quite close to the camera, but it seems they've left enough cover for the sharp box to still feel safe. Still feeding on aloe nectar by the looks of it. He has pollen all over his beak. I was trying to sneak into my room without the hyena seeing me, which was about 70 meters away, but it spotted me and went running off. They're much bolder and more dangerous at night. There's a gang of 3, sometimes 4 male elephants led by a really big grumpy guy with one tusk, and they've been breaking into people's gardens and destroying their trees. So when this lot pitched up, I was a little bit worried, but I don't think it was the same group. I think there were about 6 overall, and they spent quite a long time around here, but they left us alone. It does help that we have a fairly dry garden, so there's not that many nice trees in there to tempt them. The bull on the right, the younger one, is in must, which is a heightened emotional state. You can see the secretions running down his cheek. Now, the guy on the left, though, he was very relaxed and he wasn't too concerned about his angry little friend. I was a little bit confused by this one. It is a Steenbok, and it lacks the little tuft of hair in the middle of the forehead that the duiker has. But it has, you can see, a bit of a black face, a black mark running from its nose up to the forehead, which is characteristic of duiker, but the infrared does reveal features that you don't always see in the daylight. And it did drink for a very long time again, 15 to 20 minutes it spends, so for an animal that doesn't actually have to drink, that is quite unusual. And then a duiker came and had a drink on the left-hand side, so that was very convenient for us to see the differences between them. The Steenbok also has a shorter snout, and there's more of a distinct dip from the forehead down into the snout. I think this is the first time we've had Bushbuck on all 3 cameras in 1 week. Hard to identify this one. If it stood still for a bit, that would have helped. But I don't think it's one of the ones that comes to the waterhole. And then the Bushbuck visited the waterhole, so completing the set for the week. A group of 7 zebra popped in for a day visit. We did see them again, or maybe another group later on in the afternoon, so I don't know if they're moving back for the summer or if this was just a temporary excursion. They don't seem to be able to enjoy a social drink without one of them trying to kick one of the others in the face. And we had quite a large group of lions. I think there were 11 in total. Adults look okay, but the youngsters are looking very thin and unhappy. And what was interesting about it was that it looks like almost every single cub here is a male. So normally the females stay with the pride and then the males move off if they're forced to by the pride male. So if you don't get any new big males coming in here, I don't know what's going to happen with all these young males, if they're going to move off on their own or if they're just going to hang around until someone makes them go. Although I doubt whether all of these will survive. And this is a young duiker which is about to position itself very conveniently for the Steenbok comparison that follows. Very windy today, which may have been why this giant stick insect ended up on our patio, so I picked it up and went to put it into the garden, but it was very reluctant to get off of me. Even after I'd put it down, it managed to crawl back onto the camera and onto my shoulder when I was trying to get a nice close-up. So I put it back into the undergrowth and it seemed to be quite happy there. Thanks for watching.